And welcome to the No Name Yet podcast. That is the podcast with no name. And on tonight's show is the podcaster of all podcasters, Gritty. Yes. And also on the show is the man that drinks water like he's drinking scotch, Eric the Chaplain.
My favorite guest on this show.
Yes.
Once a year.
Once a year. This is the last Guy Fawkes special for the No Name Yet podcast. And this is the first live stream that the No Name Yet podcast has ever done. There we go. And just to start things off, won't keep it on, but
The traditional mask.
the traditional mask, the Guy Fawkes mask.
Now we're going to blow up a building.
No,
and on this election
we are
night
not blowing up in the building.
in the United States.
We're live. Remember that.
I didn't say what building.
Yeah. So this is the first time that I've ever used Rumble Studio. So and unfortunately, I've got a problem, which I need to fix. So while I'm doing that, Derek, if you could do us the honors in reminding our audience exactly who Guy Fawkes is and why it is called Guy Fawkes Day on November 5th, which happens to coincide with our elections here in the U.S., and we will be monitoring the election results coming in.
Okay. Well, as Rich invited me to share about the history and the story behind Guy Fawkes Night, it's a, I don't know if you could really call it a holiday, but it's a day of significance, mostly in Great Britain, commemorating or remembering an attempt by Roman Catholic Englishmen in, I think it was 1601, 1605, to overthrow King James I, and there was a plot to blow up the Parliament building, and Guy Fawkes was assigned the task of guarding the gunpowder. But the gunpowder plot, as it came to be known, was found out and disarmed, and the attempt by the English Catholics to overthrow King James I failed. And for a long time, what we know today as Guy Fawkes Day was actually called the Gunpowder Treason Day, and people were encouraged to light bonfires and to remember the triumph of Protestantism over Catholicism in Great Britain. My apologies to more professional historians out there who probably correct a lot of my sort of rough details and rough description, but that's basically the gist of it. And there's a sort of a short poem, a short rhyme that goes along with the celebration or the remembrance of Guy Fawkes Day is gunpowder, treason, and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. So the English are very proud of the fact that they, to a pretty large measure, stomped out Catholicism on the British Isles. And that's the story behind Guy Fawkes Night. But just as a follow-up to that, I had the I don't know if it's a privilege, but I had the unique and pretty amazing experience of being in Scotland which is part of Great Britain. At the time, it was part of Great Britain. I think it still is. On a Guy Fawkes night, I was there on a November 5th in the year 2000, and I was in Scotland for several weeks, which meant that not only was I there for Guy Fawkes night, I was there during the U.S. presidential election, and I got to hear local Scottish journalists talk about their perception and listen to their commentary on U.S. politics and U.S. presidential politics. And they were sort of laughing at us because if you were around in the year 2000 and if you voted then, it took about a month after the election before we found out or were told that it would be Bush and not Gore who would be our next president. So yeah, tonight is kind of an interesting night for me because it brings me back to my adventures in Scotland in the fall of 2000. So. Well, Rich, back to you.
Richard, I think we're running the show. I think the inmates are running the asylum right now, Derek.
I think you might be right. I don't know what happened to our host, but
what's going on? We're officially hijacking the show.
Well, I know Rich wanted to cover, the election result. Oh, here he is.
Yeah, so I'm still working on this problem,
which is
I need to hold on just a second. I need to allow this browser to share audio when I share things, and to do that, it's forcing me to give permissions to the browser. And unfortunately, I have forgotten my password for Apple, so I'm trying to reset it. And I knew something was going to go wrong tonight. And so, as Gritty has been with me through a lot of church feeds, this is about the time where I would lose my mind.
Everybody duck because a mug is going to fly right now.
And so, but tonight I decided I'm not losing my mind. So hopefully, if we have people watching, we're not going to bore you to tears. We're going to try to do our best. I did want to try this Rumble program. And what I did do today was I emailed Rumble about the background. Let's see, this hand. Wait, this hand, right? Yeah, the background. They don't have that capability yet.
Oh, the green screen.
The green screen, yeah. So, if we could just welcome on a candidate for the 20th congressional district. Max McAuliffe.
Welcome.
So I just clicked allow, and let's click it again. And come on, why won't it let him in? Let me see here. Waiting room. Okay. There we go. Now it's working. Hopefully. So, have any of you looked at any of the results that have come in?
I have. I'm looking at them right now.
So,
do you want me to share what I'm looking at?
Yes.
Well, National Public Radio has a site that's following the results as they come in, and they've broken it down into basically three categories. They have competitive states, likely Democrat states, and then likely Republican states. So let me preface this by saying that in a lot of these results, less than 50% of the expected vote total is in. So, I mean, you can make projections based on the current count, but there's a lot of states where, it's less than even 30% of the expected vote total is in. So, but in Pennsylvania, which has been a sort of a focal point and an epicenter of a lot of campaigning, 21% of the expected vote total is in. And right now, Harris is leading 58.6% to Trump's 40.5%.
And that's where?
Pennsylvania. 21% is in. And in Michigan, my home state, actually, only 11% of the vote total is in. So, keep that in mind when you hear the numbers. A lot can change, because there's still 89% of the votes yet to be counted. But right now in Michigan, with 11% of the vote in, Harris is leading almost 54% to Trump's 44%.
In Michigan.
In Michigan. Let's see, what else? In Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin's interesting. Only 2% of the vote total is in, but right now Trump is leading almost 62% to Harris's just over 37%. But that's only 2% of the vote total, so that could change. Overall, right now, Trump has 177 electoral college votes locked in, and Harris has 99 electoral college votes locked in.
Okay. Oh, wait a second. There. Max, I believe, is in. Let me see.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Can you turn on your camera? There you are.
There we go. All right. All this tech stuff. Hello.
I know. This is the first time I've used it. I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place, trying to get the screen share on. But welcome, Max.
Oh, thanks for having me. Hello.
And join the guys that have joined me tonight are Derek DeJager. If you wave, there you go, and Gritty. And I don't know if I preface this for you, Max, but this is the annual Guy Fawkes special that we lift up the infamous Guy Fawkes, who was going to blow up Parliament and failed, and was he hung, drawn, and quartered? Is that what happened to him?
Let's see. He was arrested while guarding explosives the plotters had placed beneath the House of Lords.
Okay.
Let's see. Just going down the notes here.
All right. So while you're doing that, Max, I know that you must be on the edge of your seat. I know that that the roads are lined with your signs, and they had $1 million budget to run ads.
Yeah, absolutely. I had most super PACs behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
we'll see. I want to see how many write-ins come in, regardless, for the district. I think, at least what I'm seeing, not to get into a huge spiel, but I think a lot of people were expecting a lot of third-party voters to come out of Michigan, federally speaking. But at least what I'm seeing right now, there's a lot of people nationally, state by state, Missouri, Minnesota, that, people are over it. People are fed up. So, you know, I'm glad people are owning their vote.
Yes. And you went and voted?
I did. I voted early. I voted by mail, and then a few days ago, or back in October, the Schenectady County Board of Elections called me and said, "We messed up your vote. Can you come in today? Today is the last day to vote if you want your vote to count, by like to redo the mail option or whatever." So I was like, "You people are incompetent." So I went in, redid my vote in person, submitted it right there. And then I just checked online today if my ballot was approved, and they said yes. So whatever.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
Mhm.
I don't know if
Did
I
you
told.
see in Saratoga County, people were the election staff is being accused of putting signs inside the ballot partition boxes, where you go to vote in the hidden.
Yeah.
They put pieces of paper in each one that said if you do a write-in candidate, your ballot will not count in Saratoga County, and now they're already facing legal consequences because that's obviously not true.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, talking about the election, Derek and I were looking at different headlines, and there were voter machine problems all over America, including in Cherokee County on one of the reservations. Um, it's just crazy, and the fact that they said that they had to fix your vote. When did I tell you that my dog ran for mayor in Schenectady?
No, you did not.
Yeah, in 1999, Lafredo the dog ran against incumbent Mayor Jasinski and Democratic challenger Gary McCarthy, and Lafredo the dog was running for the actual change and improvement in Schenectady and support for the Metroplex project. And he had different things he wanted to do, like diagonal parking downtown, and a lot of the things that he wanted to do happened. I think that my dog Lafredo, God rest his soul, really was the mover and shaker for the Metroplex to start improving downtown Schenectady. So I was told during that campaign that under no circumstances should I approach the mayor or one of the chair people of the election board. I think the Democratic chair of the election board, I was told, couldn't talk about the dog's campaign without becoming red in the face. And they had called my father, who had been in political office, and instructed him, the Democratic Party instructed him to tell me to stop. And my dad said, "This is what they've told me. Do whatever you want to do." And so, the dog ran for mayor, but I got a letter about a week or so after Election Day stating that my vote had been disqualified because I did not change my address.
Right. Which, by the way, just to talk about more, how fragile the establishment status quo people are, that they're going to be upset about a dog running for office. I just checked, the New York Times and AP News right now are not even showing the percentage for write-in candidates in New York's 20th congressional district. So they're not even reporting non-Democratic and Republican candidate percentages as of now.
And I brought up Channel 13, which is usually the usual place that I go. and they're not either. So, of course, Paul Tonko is beating Kevin Waltz. And so far, with 8% of the votes in, 64 to 36%.
You got Pat down there.
Pat.
Oh.
Pat McDonald.
Oh, Pat's coming in.
Yeah. You got to tell her to unmute herself and
Yeah. Pat, unmute yourself and turn on your
your
camera.
What is she wearing? Like an Uncle Sam outfit today or something?
I don't know.
She's wearing. Is she dressed as a ballot box?
She might be.
Ballot box.
Yeah. Max, our friend Pat likes to get into costume. I don't think he's going to be in costume today, but who knows?
They're usually inflatable.
Yeah, she might surprise us.
The ballot box with her eyes sticking out of the slot.
It's at the bottom, by the way, just in case.
Update.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. So, just if you'd like just a quick update here on results that are coming in. The Electoral College vote tally now is Harris still 99, Trump 178, and this is what some folks have referred to as the red mirage. That early on election night, it can look like the Republican candidate is out ahead and doing great, but the West Coast and a lot of other states besides have yet to even really begin reporting results, which can flip the Electoral College vote count the other way and make it appear as though the Democratic Party is ahead. But we're probably not going to know a true result until tomorrow at the earliest. So
there's Pat. I hear you, Pat.
We hear you, Pat.
We're trying. Ken
We're
and
flexing
I are
around with the camera here.
We're almost there.
almost. Okay, it says front camera and black camera.
Back camera.
Oh, back camera. So we want front camera.
Well, either one doesn't seem to be working.
Oh, we're getting something.
we can hear you.
Looks like you turned the camera on. Oh, you had it.
Oh, we did?
It looks like you had it, and then it shut back off.
Yeah.
Is there?
we'll keep-
Oh, okay. Looks like you turned the camera on, but it's like the camera's on, like blocked. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, something's blocking it.
you got to use your front camera, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay,
keep
front
trying that.
camera.
It doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's
Oh.
it's blacked out.
Yeah.
Try click on the camera icon, but then do a soft click on the arrow next to it. You may have to check mark one of the options. Like
Camera,
that's
yeah.
what I did when I logged in.
I voted for you.
Did you say you voted for me?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, she did.
Oh my god, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You were my write-in vote. Oh, and so was Rich too for against Mastriani.
Yes, she wrote me in against Mastriani.
Okay, we're still working on this front camera.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, Derek.
I can
So-
at least
so
hear
you-
you.
So you guys couldn't resist. You said you're going to come on if you only had something to say.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's good. I mean, I'm glad you're here.
Pat, I want to know: are you dressed as a ballot box right now?
No, I am in
Okay.
my sweatpants and sweatshirt, so I'm not dressed up as anything. But I want to
Ooh.
what you guys were talking about, and I want to hear about Guy Fawkes and everybody else here. And I want to see. We should have a drinking game.
Oh, we do have a
It
drinking
works.
game.
You do?
Yeah, I don't know if the word's going to come up, but the word that we had decided on was going to be fascist.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you do that, Pat? I thought you made that one.
Yeah, you're the one that
Oh.
picked it.
Yeah, you're the
I
one.
did?
Yeah, right on the show too. Right on the last episode,
I have no
the
memory.
Halloween special.
Okay, so while Pat and Ken work with the technology, I just want to give Max another chance to just let people know why he put his name out there to vote to run against Paul Tonko.
I wanted to join specifically as, I'm a big. I was telling Rich during our recording on my podcast yesterday. I don't have a particular ideological label for myself. I'm an independent when it comes to. I'm registered to vote, of course, but not registered to a party. But I'm a big leftist. When you talk about socialism, communism, bits of anarchism, and more Leninism, that makes up who I am and my ideology. And why that means I support the working class regardless of your political ideology. We should not be fighting horizontally, we should be fighting vertically. And I wanted to give another option for people to at least hear in certain, I don't know if you would call the Daily Gazette a certain, like mainstream media, but I guess you would on a local level. But I wanted them to at least hear that they have another option and that you can own your vote and you don't have to vote what you think is least worst. You can vote for bold environmental protection. You can vote for, the bread and butter issues. Can I pay my rent? Can I afford food? Can I fill up my gas tank? Basic things like that. And I am unreserved in saying that I think that we need a complete overhaul of our current government, especially on the federal level. And the working class needs to rise up by any means necessary and take back what essentially we never had and make it our own. So I wanted to share that message with people and let them know that they can own their vote and that their voice matters. And we need to organize, get involved in mutual aid, get involved in direct action beyond this election, because if the word of the night is fascism, whether it's blue fascism or red fascism, that's two. You don't have to choose either.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not excellent.
Yeah.
Not excellent.
I believe in compassionate capitalism. Everyone on this podcast has benefited from it, and so have many others. And socialism will not solve a thing.
Well, that's kind of a compassionate capitalism. Capitalism is inherently
capitalism. Yeah.
Capitalism is
There is such a
inherently
thing.
violent.
No, it is not. It is inherently creative. You can have corrupt capitalism, but you can also have capitalism that generates wealth for the most people. And even the poor in this country do very well. So,
Sure.
much better than they did in the Soviet Union.
Soft murder. It's soft though. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
It's
It's
not
a soft
murder.
murder.
No, you and I profoundly disagree on this. So
This is our dynamic between Derek and I on a daily basis. So I just saw on Fox that New Hampshire went to Harris, which I don't think is a surprise.
No, we were not shocked about that. We walked
And
through,
Maryland,
right?
yeah, and Pat, are you still there?
She's there, but her mic is gone now.
Okay.
She's down there though.
Well, if she gets her mic back, maybe don't worry about the video and just chime in.
Just hang out.
You have your video, and as I'm looking at my image on this screen, the nice thing about Zoom is that it touches up your face. It makes you look younger. So anyhow, So I'm going to give this a go. Let me see if I can. Let me see what what I'd like to do is to share some of the independent content creators, um, because of course anybody can any one of us could tune in to the mainstream media if he wanted to. That's quite accessible. Is Glenn on right now? No, this is election eve. So Glenn Greenwald is not live. I think Glenn Greenwald would be great to listen to. He has a nice way of putting things. Let's. So I was listening to Sabby Sabs earlier, and
Say something.
all right, they're talking about ballot measures for maybe Maryland, possibly. It appears that
Prop 1 in New York passed with 72.8%.
okay. All right, so Prop 1 passed in New York. Let's see. So if we look at maybe some of the local races, and I do apologize to the audience that I had it all set up to figure out that the Firefox browser would not share the sound if I screen shared something, which was quite disappointing. And
hey everybody, Rich Eisen here, host of.
All right. So I wish we were. Oh, good, he just left. So right now the electoral college count is 195 to 117, and the Senate is 47 Republicans to 38.
What news site are you looking at, Rich?
I'm looking at the TV. And it's Fox News.
Oh, okay. Let's see here.
I can't stomach MSNBC.
How about NPR? Would that make you just as ill?
NPR is a good sleep aid.
All right. So according to NPR, they still have it as Harris 99, Trump 178.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. If you listen, if Trump won Ohio, if he wins Georgia, we can just call it. You know what I mean? At that point,
Pennsylvania is still in play.
You go over here and you push this button.
Oh, okay.
Go left.
Oh, Pat, are you back?
Or a bad, but
Well, why don't you just leave it like that and we'll just talk?
yeah,
Yeah.
You know.
fine with me.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm seeing here. Oh, Rich, you had asked earlier what fate Guy Fawkes met. What happened to him personally in the gunpowder plot? And what I found out was that Guy Fawkes was involved in the failed gunpowder plot of 1605. And after being captured on November 5th, he was tortured, tried for high treason, and executed on January 31st of 1606, where he died when his neck was broken during the hanging, thus avoiding the full punishment of being hanged, drawn, and quartered. So, for those of you who don't know what being drawn and quartered is, it's pretty gruesome. And if I'm right, it involves taking 4 horses or other strong work animals and tying each of your limbs to one of them, and someone cracking a whip, and those 4 animals going off all in opposite directions, thus rending your body into several pieces. So, or at least 4 of them. Hence the term drawn and quartered.
So has Gritty, have you ever watched V for Vendetta?
No, I know what it is loosely.
Yeah. Have you seen it, Max?
A while ago.
Oh, you'd enjoy it. It's a good movie.
Yeah. So yeah, Derek bought it for me, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time that I can watch over and over and over again.
Wow.
Especially at the end when V successfully blows up the Parliament building, which is just such an exciting scene. So I met a man last week in the course of ministry, and had a conversation with him. And he told me that his last stint in prison was because he did blow up somebody's house.
Oh, fun.
He had taken some of his money, and I was so bold in my head to assume it might have been drug money, and he just happened to have a half stick of dynamite.
You
And
carry it
not that
around.
it's funny, but I mean,
Who doesn't carry around a half a stick of
who
dynamite in their
doesn't
purse?
carry around a half stick
Yeah.
of dynamite? And yeah,
Compassionate capitalists. We just carry around our scotch. So,
all right, come on, let's
we hire that out.
Oh, let's keep the peace on the show.
Oh my God, so funny.
EJ and I are praying our hearts out on iron sharpens iron daily this week for peace on the street. And I'll make that plug on YouTube and on Rumble, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. EJ and I have joined forces again. And 5 iron sharpens iron. One drops each morning during this election week, and we look at what the prophet Amos had to say to the Israelites, and it mirrors a lot of what is going on in our society today. And the devotion in listening to a very angry God is that God cared, and so if you're inclined to tune in, an episode is dropping each morning during this election week, Monday through Friday.
Hey, what happened to Pat? Pat, are you still there?
No, see, they went off again,
Okay.
and so the Fawkes still has the 117 to 195. And I think I'll put that on our scroll.
It's so weird. AP still has the 99 to 178.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing as well. So,
Which state? I wonder which state Fox is calling that AP isn't. Because you said Harris is 117.
Yeah.
So what I'm seeing on my end for Harris is Illinois, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland.
yeah.
It's leaning towards New Hampshire, but it's not called. Did they
Okay.
call New Hampshire?
I think they called New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the
Yeah.
state.
Because there was a little yellow oval that said called when New Hampshire came up.
Boy.
So AP still has it as leaning, I guess, for some reason.
Yeah. One 7 Trump 195. So my mother is upstairs watching the election. The election results come in, and she said that she would be killing herself if Trump won. And so if the race is called, I run upstairs, it's to keep my mom from hanging herself.
God.
You know, it's interesting. They're looking at likely Republican states,
Uh-huh.
and Iowa. Yeah, they've got Harris in the lead by almost 9 points with 20% of the vote in. Wow.
Guess it depends what cities they're.
Yeah. I don't know. That's going to be a nail biter.
That could be they do like Cedar Rapids and Iowa City, but the rest of the state isn't. And
Um,
So Gritty, do you have anything to say?
Not really. I'm not a political guy, so
Okay.
very lost. I don't know what points are, or I don't know what's going on.
well, Harris is still leading in Pennsylvania.
no one's
I don't know. I
winning
guess
this
maybe
election.
I should take a moment to say I don't know. I mean, Harris has a lot of faults. But I couldn't bring myself to vote for Trump. So
Let's see.
It's a shame how New York State treats not only third parties but write-in votes. Like, I don't know. It's just like utter hypocrisy to be like, if you genuinely want people to vote however they want to vote, and call yourself the Democratic Party, then but
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's maddening, and something came up this year where somebody had made an impassioned plea because people were concerned what a Trump presidency would be, that that anyone that's considering voting third party, that this is not the year to vote third party. And I took great exception to that. I mean, not only did the cuck Bernie Sanders try to shepherd those that supported him into the Democratic Party, but other colleagues are going to use a listserv to try to shepherd people into the Democratic Party, and it's just gotten to the point where I know that I'm belligerent, and verbally combative about it. That I refuse to be shamed. I refuse to believe that my vote was wasted. Because if I was wasting my vote, then why are you so concerned about it?
Mm-hmm. Also, the entitlement of you're guaranteed my vote is absolutely ridiculous. I feel no shame voting for Jill Stein. I did it, and I'm gonna vote for who I think is best. And I think everyone should vote for who they think is best, not least worst. Because if we keep doing least worst, the Democratic Party keeps going right, the right keeps going right, and it's I don't know. It's there's too many. I don't know. The main thing was going to be for me. Obviously there's a million issues domestically going on, but if you can't morally draw your line at genocide, how would have acted in the 40s when the Holocaust was going on? I don't want to have to look back if the US lasts in like 20 years, to go many years from now and look back and be like, I can't believe I couldn't even do a single vote in opposition to the duopoly. Sorry, I'm ranting and ranting, but I agree with you, Rich.
Yeah. And I think that maybe, perhaps the sanest person among the four of us in these tiles, it might be Gritty. Because you step out and you go to bed at night and you fall asleep.
That's it. Well, that part is not true, but I don't go to sleep.
Well, that's true. You're usually up all night, but is there anything that you would like to plug on the Gritty Knows Best podcast?
Would I like to plug anything? I mean, just the whole show. We did a lot of episodes in October, a lot of extra episodes. So you could just go to the Gritty Knows Best YouTube channel and check them all out, especially if you're into scary things. We did a lot of scary things in October.
Yes.
Hmm.
And, I should have asked you to come on with a bit. Do you have a bit for us?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't. A bit.
Yeah.
Like a monkey with symbols. Like I could just pull something out and make everybody laugh. I don't know, a bit. I don't know, a bit. No.
How about one of the ghost stories or something, one of the strange stories that you've covered?
Well, we did a Devil's Night edition where we spoke about the female Hannibal Lecter from Australia, who was the first woman in Australia to ever be put on not death row, but life in prison without parole, because she one night stabbed her boyfriend 37 times and skinned his body, and then she cut him into steaks and then almost fed those steaks to her children. But luckily she was not successful in that. But it was the worst case Australia has ever seen, probably to this day, and anybody that worked on that case was scarred for life. And it was an incredibly horrific story. And we covered it, among other stories, on the last Devil's Night edition that I will tell you, if you are squeamish in any way, stay far away from that episode. It depressed me to even do that. I couldn't even believe we did it. Like, that's how horrible that was, to listen to those true crime stories. I was exhausted after that. It was terrible. But if you're into true crime, that episode is for you.
Wow.
You asked for a bit.
We love that. Have you guys heard of the Nicholas Wagner Browning case?
Mm-mm.
So
No.
This one has a plot twist you're not going to see coming. So Nicholas Browning was a kid I think he was at the time he was 15 years old in Maryland, and he was from a upper middle class family. Very much the picturesque in front facing. They were very involved in the school district. and they're involved in their church, and then behind the scenes was a very abusive household, behind closed doors. And one night, Nick got his father's handgun and shot his mother, his father, and his two younger brothers in the head, dead. And now he's in prison. Well, he had a mental breakdown, and now he's in prison in Maryland for what's the most that they do in New York State? It's similar, where it's like
Like life without.
But because of a new law that they passed in Maryland, for if you committed a crime when you're a kid, you now are eligible for parole, depending on the
Like the life of a minor, like where you eligible for after you're like an adult or something. Is that the one?
something. He's 30, 31 or 32 now, and he will be eligible for parole in 2027. And I'm
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
But he
and
never did that.
he what?
Did he ever admit why he did that? Like, what was the motive? He just lost his mind.
He had trauma. His parents were very abusive, and he had a mental breakdown.
Oh, that's some breakdown.
Yeah, and I'm good friends with him.
Really?
I am.
Wow. Is that the twist that we weren't going to see coming?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, so where did you meet him?
I met him because I knew his case. His case kept popping up, and I noticed we had a lot. This is going to sound horrible. We have a lot of similarities in our interests and our passion. What was that look? Hold on, I just saw someone go.
Your words. You said it was going to sound terrible, so I was just affirming.
And no, in terms of our passions, our interests, because he's actually a very intelligent guy, and he holds a lot of remorse for what happened, but he also acknowledges, he was incredibly abused as a kid, and he knows that would not have happened if he had, one, proper mental health care, and two, did not live in an incredibly abusive environment that led him to that. He's done programs in Georgetown through his prison experience. He has won multiple awards while in prison for his writing. He wants to start a new life. He wants to get out there. He wants to fight for criminal justice reform. He wants to advocate for youth. He's been deemed multiple times not a danger to the public. He also doesn't even disagree with why he's in prison. He's like, I totally get it. Like, he's like, I'm prepared to live the rest of my life in here, but I will be fighting for parole in 2027. So we'll see.
So
is
did you
definitely
reach out to him and start communicating?
Oh yeah, sorry, I never gave the background. I reached out to him. I wrote to him, and I was like, I'm interested in your case. I feel like there's a lot of not told story here, and we ended up just chatting it up, and we've been friends for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk twice a month on the phone, and then Maryland has like a computer, like almost like email system that incarcerated people are able to use. Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely don't judge a book by its cover, but obviously can't blame when you do judge that book by its cover, one of those weird true crime things where it's like, it's horrible, but
So if you notice the ticker, I'm not sure what race they've called, but Fawkes has got Trump at 205.
he won Utah.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that too.
Okay, yeah. So
Pennsylvania is currently leaning red, but they have only 43%
leaning
reported.
blue.
Really, I'm seeing
let's
Oh,
see.
Yeah.
that's
On AP, it's leaning red. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, New York Times, Pennsylvania is a toss-up.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Oh, I don't think people know.
AP is behind on the
Wow,
report.
it's less than 1%. It's like
Yeah.
Harris is 49.2 and Trump is 49.9 with 43% of the votes in. Boy, that is razor thin. Harris is still ahead in Michigan.
Montana just went to Trump.
Yeah.
That's on the New York Times. That's on New York Times. I didn't see the
Oh.
numbers change on Fox.
Who the hell is still voting for RFK Jr. at this point? He dropped out.
I know, but the states,
Well.
certain states did not honor his request to come off the ballot because they believe they wanted it to be a distraction from Trump.
Oh, this
I
is
think that's-
interesting. Nebraska. Harris has a sizable lead over Trump in Nebraska, and that was considered a safe Republican state.
AP is showing Trump won Nebraska.
Yeah, so does the New York Times.
Yeah, that's not, according to NPR, Nebraska has, well, let's see. They've got 3 districts. 2 out of the 3 are favoring Harris. 1 is favoring Trump. Oh, Pennsylvania just went back to Harris.
Oh, it did.
Now
Yeah.
Harris. Yep. So, wow, boy, what a nail biter.
Yeah, Fox has got. I saw Fox had Harris leading in Pennsylvania.
I thought everyone thought Virginia was going to be blue. Now it's leaning red.
Yeah. Michigan is still leaning Harris. So
I want to know how much Jill Stein gets in Michigan because that was a key state in her.
Yeah.
Her
wow,
race.
Arizona, they're exactly tied, 49.6 to 49.6.
Wow.
This is going to be an all-nighter for somebody, not me, but
For CME either. Yeah.
well, I think it may be about time for me to sign off here. I gotta.
All right.
Great to see you,
Well,
Derek.
yeah, you too, Gritty. Max, nice to meet you. So
Nice to meet you.
Wasn't wearing a scary mask this time for you, so.
Yep. As far as a Guy Fawkes special, we came in for a very soft and quiet landing. And but thank you, Derek, for coming on.
thanks for having me.
My favorite guest. My favorite guest.
All right.
Well, may the best person win, whoever that person may be. So
Guy Fawkes, the animated corpse of Guy Fawkes.
I don't know. We're in uncharted times.
Uncharted times.
All right.
Why do you have that mask readily available?
Of all the time.
Yeah, watch that movie. Watch V for Vendetta. It's I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm my politics are center right, but I still thought it was a very good movie. So
Yeah, it is a very good movie.
all right, gentlemen. Well, you have a good evening.
All right. All right, so I am going to actually try to do a screen share. I think I've got it working. So please tell me if you can hear the audio. There is a video that I saw on X today, and let's see. All right, that I didn't watch, but I wanted to see it. So can you see that?
I don't see it.
No.
So you don't see it. Hold on just a second. I want to see if it's broadcasting over Rumble. And thank you for those that are watching and being patient with our technical.
Do you have a viewer count?
What's that?
Does it show you like a viewer count, like anyone that's tuning in?
I'm sorry, I didn't. What was that, Max?
No, you're good. I said, is there a viewer count? Like, can you see on your end, like who's tuning in?
Yeah. Well, now we've got 2 people on Rumble,
Beautiful.
and I didn't check to see if it's successfully simulcasting to YouTube or not.
It is.
It is okay.
So, yeah.
All right. That's why I went with this. So to try to simulcast on both. View. Let me see here.
Harris has won Colorado.
All right. So that's no big surprise.
Yeah. I'm gonna be surprised. Minnesota is still counting, but it's leaning right, and they normally lean left. How much percent of the vote do they have? Oh, no, only 2%. Never mind.
All right, now let me try this. Start screen share again. Select tab to share. So can you see my X account?
No.
No.
Oh, wow, this really sucks. Wow. I don't understand what I might be doing wrong. Well, what I am doing wrong, not might be doing wrong. It's not working. So, Gritty, do you think that this is the worst show that I've ever put up?
Well, this is a live stream, so it doesn't count as a show. So
Okay.
you could, you got to talk like a politician. You got to start like fudging numbers, and
Yeah.
this doesn't count as a show. This is just a live stream.
Okay.
You're not going to number this an episode.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's
We gave it an honest try.
Give it the college try. You could always do it again.
Yeah.
You should have done a test stream.
You're absolutely right. I should have done a test stream.
A private test stream, and then you could have loaded everything up. You would have got your password hooked up.
Yeah.
Now,
I just ran out of time.
Discussion. We already been through this, but
yeah.
Are all your passwords different, or are you using like the same one or two?
We'll discuss that off the air.
Uh-oh.
We'll discuss that off the air.
Okay.
I have a feeling. No. The reason why I want to discuss it off the air is that I may have taken some of your advice.
Uh-huh.
So
doesn't seem like it tonight.
Oh,
wait, hold on.
I know what I'm doing wrong now. I think I'm going to be able to share this screen.
The
And
last 2 days, there's been a guy walking around the hallway with a knife and shit. And he's been at 6 a.m. the other night or the other morning. I woke up and he was threatening the maintenance guy that I know. So I knew it was him from his voice. And the guy was coming at him with the knife, and the maintenance guy wasn't backing down. He was like, come at me, bro. Like, come on, do it. Come on. And the guy, you can hear him. He was doing that thing where the guy, where a guy really doesn't want to fight, but he's acting like he wants to fight. He's getting in his face, and then he was backing up. He was getting his face and backing up. And my maintenance guy was not letting it go. He's like, come on, bitch. Like, let's go.
There you go. You're in.
I'm in.
So he left. In the afternoon, I think it's the same guy. He's like going off on my next door neighbor. I guess it's his girlfriend. And he's telling her he's gonna kill her. He's gonna slit her throat. He's gonna fuck her up. And he was banging on her door. He's going crazy. So something else was going outside. I'm gonna see what it is.
Oh my, where is Gritty?
Gritty lives in.
If you don't mind me asking, I know we're,
Yeah, oh no, I don't want to dox him. He lives in a big building. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. All right. He lives in a big building. Yeah.
He lives in a big building, and there's Ken.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Did you guys just find your way out of the corn maze?
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey guys, kid.
I pulled my way through this to get the mic and the camera to work.
You guys
doing?
sound like cartoon characters. So I got out for a while because the audio wasn't good. Then I put you on my phone, and my phone was better. I don't know if you could see it. But
Oh.
anyway. And then Ken was fooling around.
Well, tell them the truth. You're watching more on TV.
Yeah, our granddaughter is videotaping the Molinaro one in Binghamton. So she
Okay.
told me when they go live, so I went and I watched. He's losing. Molinaro is losing like 20%, I think it was. Yeah.
Well, it's half of the voting, but
So,
he's getting throttled right now.
Yeah,
so
I figured that was going to go that way for him.
Oh yeah.
Well, they said it was tight 2 years ago, so there you go, right? They had some pretty ugly back and forth in the ad. So.
Well, somebody explain to me proposal one. Yes and no.
Yes, it's long story short, it's almost like New York State's version of the Equal Rights Act. It's basically just a wide slew of anti-discrimination protections for people because people already assume in New York State we have anti-discrimination protections for marginalized or minority groups. That's not true in terms of being in the New York State Constitution. So it just solidifies in the New York State Constitution anti-discrimination protections for a wide range of marginalized groups, queer people, more for race, ethnicity, religion, things like that. But it also codifies in the New York State Constitution reproductive rights.
Okay. Now, does that have anything to do with transgender? Let me put it to you this way. My granddaughter was a great swimmer on the girls' swimming team. Tell me, does that mean transgender boys would be on that swimming team?
It codifies in the New York State Constitution gender identity protections regardless of what your gender identity is. So if you're male at birth, female at birth, or if you're transgender, if you're non-binary, it does protect you based on gender identity.
So therefore, see, my thing is the boys always swim a lot faster than the girls. So that would be an advantage to the transgender boy becoming a girl to swim, correct?
I think there's much more to it than just brute um, like strength, for example. I think obviously there are biological truths, you know, your sex assigned at birth, but we also have to look at like what is the percentage of like it's more about other factors like like protections, anti-discrimination protections, like in your place of work, in schools for youth, in healthcare, economic opportunity. So yes, it will include. I mean, local municipalities may challenge it legally, but yeah, it would include sports. But at the same time, it's like the number of trans youth in sports is already completely minuscule, but it also applies to vice versa. So like if a trans man who is on like hormone therapy and has an advantage because of they're in the middle of their transition, they may be rejected from competing in men's sports, even though they identify as a man, and would be forced to compete with women and have an unfair advantage, if that makes sense. That actually happened on a wrestling team in Texas. A youth, a high school trans boy was, you know, who's a sex assigned birth female, was forced to compete with girls who were born girls because they wouldn't allow him to compete in the guys' sport. So he said, I don't want to be having this unfair advantage. I want to compete with the men because I'm already on that transition with the men. So there's also the vice versa of that as well, you know?
That's a tough thing.
I don't want to say unfortunately, but there's no, with this, the Prop 1, there's no separation, you know? So I guess we have to look at it like pick and choosing our battles, because as a queer person myself, I support Prop 1 fully because it's also wide encompassing. It's not just sports, it's all aspects of your daily life. Do you have anti-discrimination protections? I used to work in LGBTQ education in K through 12 schools, and to see the level of discrimination youth face, even in New York State, is to say the least. So it's yeah, it's complex. It
is complex.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sorry, I feel like I'm taking up all the. I'm sorry for rambling constantly.
Oh no, I just didn't understand.
Yeah.
Well, Max, I appreciate
Yes,
you
it's asking
explaining it
what
to her. You did a much better job than I could.
So, Rich, are you putting that scroll on the bottom? Harris 117, Trump 205?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like those numbers.
Well, it's early.
It's early.
Yeah.
Let's see what it
Did
is.
Derek leave? Where's Derek?
He's going to bed.
Oh, okay.
Max scared him off the feed.
Good. I'm not a fan, but you know.
So let's well, I'm trying to find our local races here.
Let me see
But,
what
well,
That's
you know,
CW.
Gritty took off, and I hope he's safe. I figured out how to share. Oh, there you are.
Well,
Hello, Gritty.
it's funny. I'm on my phone right now, and it shows Derek and Gritty there. So how can my phone be on such a delay?
Is it on pause?
Podcast.
That's weird.
What's going on, Gritty?
I'm trying to ascertain what's happening through the door. I believe that the woman has now called for backup because there's a large crew outside. So I think maybe she called like her family and was like, yo, this guy was bugging out earlier. He was beating down the door. He was free. I don't know if he beat somebody up because I heard like a fight going on outside, like a fist fight. It's been crazy the last couple days. Crazy over here. My building is the greatest. You got. Where's my soda? Oh my god!
That's you.
I told you they ripped the door off one of the washing machines, right? For scrap, seemingly for scrap metal. I told you that when I came in from vacation.
No.
One of the guys I know, he's like, hey, like I was like, oh, how's the building? He's like, well, they ripped one of the doors off the washing machine, I think for scrap metal.
Well,
Now there's 3.
And it's like one of those washing machine doors where it's like mostly plastic.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's like, instead of it being a top loader, they should have ripped off because the top loader is all metal. They ripped the front loader off, which is almost all plastic. So if that was for scrap metal, not a good choice.
You're not gonna get much out of that.
They'll probably get a dime bag or something like that for that. That's something for the night. They'll get something for the night.
Uh-huh.
Something to soothe their soul for the night. Some K2. You can probably get a lot of K2 for whatever that scrap metal's worth. K2 is pretty cheap. You know what K2 is?
It's a horse tranquilizer.
Is that what it is? No.
Or
It's
is K2 the same thing as Special
like-
K?
No, K2 is like a bunch of basically chemicals that make synthetic weed.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
It's a bunch of chemicals, and that's what's taking over New York. Like everybody that you see is walking around like a zombie, and that's just bugging out. They're all on K2 because K2 is like $1. It's like because it's just all stuff you can make. I think from under your kitchen sink.
Oh.
It's really bad. It's really, 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 really bad.
Speaking of, Florida just rejected their ballot measure to legalize recreational marijuana, which is so sad because too many people are getting criminalized over that,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Let me check, because I think North Dakota and South Dakota also had the same ballot measure. Oh, it's 10:30 already. That's crazy.
My Google says K2 may help improve bone health and lower your risk of osteoporosis.
What's
I got
that?
the wrong K2, aren't I?
That's not the same K2 they're doing in 125th Street. I'll tell you that.
So Pat, are you still rooting against Trump?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am. I certainly am. Does anybody ever watch Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel?
No.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. They sum it up every night in their 10-minute monologue, especially Jimmy Kimmel the other night. He went through A to Z with why not to vote for Trump. And it was not funny. Now, usually he's very funny. He said, this is, whether you like it or not, I'm going through the whole thing. And I wish I could send that monologue to everybody, but I don't know how. But if you ever did listen to him, I don't know. But I don't like these numbers, Rich. What are your numbers now? I don't see them crawling on this bottom anymore.
They're flip-flopping. I'll check now.
I'm trying to update it so we can still see the words, but we can see more of you and Max. So can you see it now?
Here it is. Harris 117, Trump 205. Okay,
Yeah, it
that
hasn't
hasn't
changed. So I want to play this video that I came across on X. And I didn't get a chance to preview it, but I think I'll be able to screen share this. And let me see. So can you see that?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, is it going to be an argument or a fight?
I don't know. It might.
Oh, all right.
What these guys did is that they brought they brought immigrants to people who are voting for Harris and said that, and asking them if they could sleep in their house.
I love these. These are so good.
All right, let's see if I can.
I dressed up like I work for Kamala's campaign.
Can you hear the
now I'm
sound?
going to deliver immigrants
Yeah.
to her supporters.
We are voting for you. Don't worry.
Are you? We do have a surprise, if that's okay, just real fast. We're looking for a place for them to stay. They just came across. They'll sleep on floors. I mean, they're not picky, you know.
We have like a 2-year-old, so
Hector's good with kids.
sorry, we just can't.
Could they just like sleep on your lawn?
They need a place to stay. They just came across.
My teenagers live with me. I don't
Oh, that's
have
fine.
extra room.
Hector, he was dating a teenager like a little bit ago, so
Okay.
they just came across. They don't have papers. You're in support of like the whole border situation, and we're just trying to get them a floor to sleep on. You guys want COVID? They said they could survive it.
You don't know how to say her name.
We work with her, so we know how to say her name.
Earlier you said Kamala. The way she pronounces her name is Kamala. You don't work with her either.
See that car? We have 3 dudes who just came across the border. We're trying to find them a home.
Just say I'm voting for Donald Trump without saying it, okay?
That's a wrong attitude, mister. I said my vote is private.
So you're voting Kamala.
No. You said it again.
Jeez.
I hate it. I get secondhand embarrassment so easy. It makes my skin crawl.
Easily.
Ugh. Ugh.
So you don't watch a lot of prank videos, I'm assuming, because those would make you cringe.
And funny ones. I don't. That one is just when you put people on the spot. Like it's such a personal topic, and they. No, I can't. I get why people find it funny though, but I just.
Yeah. And I, I think that one of the fun, well, not funny because these are human beings, but one of the most poignant things is when Texas sent, flew the immigrants to Martha's Vineyard. I thought that was appropriate after 25 years of not having an immigration policy, that our politicians have irked their responsibility for so long. I just couldn't imagine, I don't know exactly what's going on there because I'm not there, but I mean, I do have a piece of me that's compassionate for the people that live in border states.
I don't know if it's not the migrants' fault though, It's the politicians' fault.
Why not?
We can't use them as political tools. There's no, most of the migrants that come over the border, they don't even know what the conditions for them are going to be. They're not trying to inconvenience
Right.
other people. It's just our military destabilizes their homes, and then they end up coming to our borders.
I'm with you on that. I just when people become desperate, and the politicians along the border, during Trump, there was a lot of cities that say they were going to be sanctuary cities. And so when the border states transport people coming across the border to the sanctuary cities, and then the sanctuary city says we can't take the people, if we're going to be one nation, we can't in my opinion, we just can't expect the border state to bear the brunt of this issue that our federal government just doesn't deal with.
Oh, fully. I agree. I fully agree.
Does anybody know what happened to them after Martha's Vineyard? There's never a follow-up.
Yeah, that's true.
They sent them out. They sent them out.
Yeah, they did. That's true. They did. They sent them back.
Like, we can't take these people. Well, you expect Texas to take the people. If we're going to let people in the country, then there's 50 states that can contribute.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, we found out in this area, just how some of this stuff can just sneak up on you. Mayor Adams down in New York City just sent people up to Schenectady County without speaking to Schenectady County. And then what they did is that people that social services had housed in certain hotels made our county residents leave the hotels to make room for the immigrants. And so there you just set people up to get upset and to pit people against each other. And I know they did that because a couple of the Schenectady County residents ended up in the hospital after that happened. So
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when, what's his name, Mastroianni was out there breaking news when they showed up at the Motel 6.
Oh,
Yes, and they found out that Motel 6 ended up being bug ridden with bed
Yeah.
bugs.
Yeah, well, they had all kinds of health code violations. That's why they shut it down.
Fire code. Yeah, but where did they end up?
They relocate them to
Yeah,
another hotel.
but it's funny how we never saw what hotel. We saw Super 8 on the television all the time. But then when they went to Albany, it was like never.
Well, some of them actually, they pushed that thing along where they could get jobs. Because that was a big holdup too, was they weren't allowed to work.
Right. But I wish they would do a story about why they came here, how they came here, what they had to go through. I want to see. It's like we can never hear their side.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I would just like to hear everything, not just what the people are complaining, but I want to hear how they came here, if they really had to go through that river and the barbed wire and the kids and how a lot of the kids did go to Mahonison. And our friend Rebecca, who we work with, her kids were in their classes. And they were wonderful kids. And there was no trouble. There was, of course, the language barrier, and they had to have tutors. They had to have special help. And then all of a sudden, they weren't there anymore.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, if you wanted to hear these people's stories, do you know Spanish?
No.
Well, then you can't hear the story.
No, you can't. But
Well, they get interpreters.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
I know. Don't step on the joke, Ken. Don't step on the joke.
He's new to podcasting, Reg.
I thought he was going to go where, why didn't they just, if they wanted, to escape their country and their civil strife there, why didn't they made it as far as Mexico, why didn't they stay there?
Yeah, how come? Why is it they
I don't think the Mexicans want the people there.
Why is that?
I don't think the Mexicans want the people there, and the standard of living is better here.
Yeah,
Mexico has a new president, though, that we'll see. But
Okay.
she's the first female president of Mexico, and she's much more progressive than the last one. So we'll see what happens there. But
Interesting. And now we have a lot of factories in Mexico because it's cheaper labor. So aren't we providing jobs in Mexico to help them? Am I wrong?
We have companies that are doing manufacturing there
Yeah.
because it's cheaper, but usually they just manufacture it and they assemble it here.
Oh, okay. I just figured if we could provide jobs for them in Mexico. And I don't know.
No, the problem is they don't want to live in Mexico. They got this perspective that things would be better here, and Mexico just lets them pass through. They actually make money on it.
Oh, that's true.
It's so layered. It's so layered because it's literally just like, I fully agree. Like, how about we just like legalize safe immigrants and have them be tax-paying citizens, but then we would need to have a U.S. federal budget that collects our taxes that actually works for the people. So it's like, if there's so many different steps to it. That's why I believe in overhaul. I know Derek doesn't, but sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been following politics a long time, and when it comes to the immigration issues, I mean, they've been kicking the can down the road and not dealing with it. And then that bill that the establishment left is saying that Trump killed. It would have done something, but it wasn't. Really, all it did for the border was put more border guards on the border. I don't know.
Do you want me to do an election update?
Yeah, I was just gonna do one. I'm not sure what state they're calling. Maybe Iowa, jumping up to 211. What do you got on what you're looking at?
I'm looking at, they have 58% reporting in Pennsylvania, and Trump is leading by almost 3%.
Ooh.
Yeah, but that's
Arizona has 50% reporting, and no joke, they are tied 49.6%.
No, where is that?
Arizona.
Okay.
And Kamala is 62% reporting, and has a good margin in New Mexico. And then Trump is leading in the rest of the states minus the West Coast.
See, we have it on local news right now. I think we should go back to national news.
Well, there's not, like I said.
Oh, and 88% reporting, and Trump is leading in Georgia.
Okay.
That's because they're getting they got all the rural counties in, and they don't have Atlanta Senate.
Yeah.
That's most of their votes is centered around Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Grady, do you have an update? Not to. I feel like I'm so sorry. I'm so used to running my own podcast, Rich, that I don't want.
Oh no, go ahead.
I don't want to be overbearing though. This is not my. I'm not the. You know what I mean?
No, I don't have any updates. No.
No.
Updates
What
on
in
my
hallway?
voting or the polls? You mean?
No, on the floor, on your floor.
Your
it's
hallway.
It's quiet right now. It's quiet right now. But anything can happen at any second. So I got this ear ready. I got the door open. I'm ready because it's been popping off for 2 days straight, which is crazy. No updates yet. I seemed like there was a big group outside, so I think that's I think the security just came. I think the protection just came in. It got scary earlier for sure. It got scary.
I had an incident recently. My apartment neighbor 2 doors down. I parked in a spot that was like near his apartment, but it was the only one available. And the rule at our apartment complex is park anywhere in front of your building if there's space. So we don't have assigned parking. I'm walking to my car one day, and he is outside his apartment. He goes, "Hey, do we have a problem?" And I was like,
"What?
Why would we have a problem?" And he goes, "You're parking in my spot." And I was like, "We don't have assigned spots." And he's like, "Yeah, but I'm a senior tenant." I'm like, there's no hierarchy. The lease says there's no assigned spots. And he goes, "Do you want to go?" And got up right in my face and started calling me homophobic slurs over a parking spot. So I was like, what is going on? I felt like I was in a fever dream. I'm like, what is...
I'm not
So
shocked.
I ended up having to, I hate the police, but had no other choice. I had to call the cops and do a whole report. And luckily, the property manager was like, "Yeah, we're not going to tolerate any of that." So he ended up getting a certified letter in the mail saying, "If you do that again with anyone, your ass is out."
You will no
But-
longer be a senior tenant.
Yeah, you were no longer a tenant.
Oh, what the hell? I'm not shocked, man. Growing up in the city, there's always parking wars. So that's like every day over there.
Yeah. And this is Schenectady. I'm like, what? Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. That's
Oh, it
terrible.
was here in Schenectady that happened?
Yeah, West Campbell Road. Yeah.
Get out.
Parking wars get
Close to
vicious,
you.
man. People get crazy.
Are you in Rotterdam or Schenectady?
Yeah, are you near the Carmen or the one in Bellevue?
I am literally, I'm at, Rich, I'm fine with saying where I live. Are you okay with me saying that
I'm
on
sorry.
Rumble,
Well, that's up
Rich?
to you.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I live in Wellington Gardens. It's on West Campbell Road. It's literally a 1 minute walking distance to the Rotterdam border where the old brick furniture place is.
Yes, I know exactly where you are. I grew
Yeah.
up on Avenue, so I was like
Oh, okay.
quarter of a mile from you.
So,
I can't believe that.
so how do you deal with all that big Italian hair around you?
All that what? All the what?
All the big Italian hair.
All the big Italian hair. I voted for my Irish neighbor Matthew Fitzpatrick instead of Angelo Santa Barbara. That's how I handled that. I wrote in my neighbor Matthew Fitzpatrick. I was
Because my
Yeah.
uncle lived in Gilderland, and he's
Oh, okay.
Italian, and
Mhm.
but he would complain about all the women with all the Italian women with big hair from Rotterdam that would cut him off on the thruway.
I'm Maltese. I'm mainly Maltese, which is like the island version of Italy, sort of. So
Okay, all right.
Well, Rich, I think after tonight, there'll be a protected group.
Who?
What,
The
what,
Italian?
Yeah, because of the proposition that just passed. All the Italian women with big hair.
the big hair. That was in part of the narrative on the proposition.
it was. I thought it was in Prop 1. You didn't see it? Anti-discrimination
Yeah, it
protections.
was. So, as I'm looking at like some of the races locally, like Steck has won again in Schenectady for New York for state assembly. Santa Barbara's won. I found it extremely funny that Mastriani got caught on a Ring camera taking mailers out of somebody's mailbox.
Yeah. It was so stupid because they're right in front of your face too. Like, can't you see?
Yeah, you see
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So I
Beth
think-
Walsh
I
won.
think it's funny, Rich, that the people who are responsible for bail reform are looking to prosecute somebody for mail theft. You know,
Where are you seeing the state results, Rich?
I'm looking at News Channel 13. And then I went to Channel 6 to see if the local race came in. And I didn't realize there were so few local races. Really, the only local race it seems to be is the Village of, well, at least in Schenectady County, is the Village of Scotia, and there's no results. I'm really surprised there's like none.
Well, I lost my race. Paul Tonko won that one.
Yeah, Paul Tonko won.
I don't know. I want to see. Tomorrow. I'll check the Board of Election site to see if they have a tally on the write-in
They do post it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. We're still at we're at 117 to 211. And I'm just going to just for a second I'm going to play the guys from Due Dissidents, see what they have to say right now. So let's just give them a quick listen. Well, that's Sabby. All right, here we go.
And Cobb County was 394,000 votes.
Well, that's almost all in. So there's not much there for her.
All right. And right now it's only Twitter calling North Carolina.
Yeah, but I think North Carolina. I mean, I think Trump's got North Carolina. It's so far it's only Twitter. It's not the AP, but these don't seem big enough. Do you know what the Wake County margin for Biden was? Cool Blue.
Wake County in North Carolina, right?
Yeah. And what did Biden lose by? Like a point and a half? He didn't lose it by much.
1.35, and he lost by 74,000 votes.
Okay, so he lost by a point and a half. Okay, so
Wake County, Biden carried it by 26.45. I have that readout. So there were 631,830 votes 4 years ago in Wake County.
And what was the percentage of Biden? I'm sorry if I missed it.
Biden carried it by 26.45, say 26.5.
Okay, so she's running about even, a little better, but not better enough. I mean, don't forget, she's got to outperform him. She can't just match him. She has to beat him.
Yep.
What about Mecklenburg?
Mecklenburg County there were 567,000 votes that came from total votes cast. Biden won it by just a little bit over 35 percentage points.
Okay. And she's at 27. So she's underperforming him there with 15% in. So that could change. But so far, yeah, North Carolina does not look good for Kamala. It looks like Trump.
All right. Here's an interesting data point. Dow futures jumped 500 points and the Russell 2000 futures climbed 3%, which is a lot.
What is the Russell 2000 futures? Are those your brides to be?
That's small cap stocks.
Oh, okay.
That's small cap stocks, which that would indicate people are betting that the speculative economy is back. That speculating is going to come back, which means they're expecting a Trump win.
Yeah, well, that's about when that happened. This time in 2016. Longtime fan from Australia.
Let me take a look at how Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin's probably off the hook.
Yeah, look at
Bitcoin. Yeah. Bitcoin's.
Trump, if he wins pickups of Georgia and Arizona, he's got to win a pickup of at least one of the Rust Belts.
So he's got to get one of the Rust Belts.
And
Bitcoin has been hitting a ceiling at 70. It's spiked up to almost 73 now. It's up about 7.5%.
Ex-Dirty Hippie says, longtime fan from Australia and much love. The fate of the world is in the hands of the most heavily propagandized and politically illiterate people in the world today. And it looks like we are all fucked, says Dirty Hippie. Yeah, well, we knew that going into tonight. They were the worst musicians in the world. They were no playing motherfuckers. Paul was the worst bass player I ever heard. And Ringo, don't even talk about it. Quincy Jones, the great Quincy Jones. Rest in peace, Quincy Jones. But you know what? There's a Quincy Jones recording of the of Hallelujah, not the Leonard Cohen song, the Handel's Messiah, like a gospel version, which is just great. It's just a fantastic version of that. Are you concerned that these tech goons like Elon, Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen supporting Trump believe in the quasi-religious, transhumanist, hyper-capitalist vision of the future? Yes, very much so. Yes. Even more concerned about it now. Come to think of it, yes, actually,
we've been working together too long, motherfucker.
I'm actually more concerned about that now as the night goes on.
I'm very glad I'm reading techno feudalism right now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Ohio put the wrong Green Party members on the ballot. They've defrauded their voters. If this were judicial, this would be a mistrial. Interesting. Thanks, username. Ranger says, Russell, I wrote you in for Congressional District 1 in Suffolk County. Don't feel left out.
I'm from Suffolk. I was born and raised in Suffolk County, what he just said,
Where
on the east end of Long Island, yeah. Having an argument on Twitter with, I don't know if I've shared this with you, Rich, but I'm a former sex worker. I was a sex worker in college for all my 4 years while working in politics. I was a little more skinny and feminine then, but I'm having an argument on Twitter right now with a few fellow current sex workers, and half are like, "Oh, we need to vote least worst, Harris," and I'm like, "No, neither." I don't know if you guys know, but there's a law called Fosta Sesta, and it's a huge attack on bodily autonomy, and it categorizes adult consensual sex workers with human trafficking victims, and it criminalizes sex workers and throws them in jail. It's a really bad, and it takes resources actually away from actual human trafficking survivors and victims to criminalize adult consensual sex workers. It's really bad. And this is whether it's in person or online. And Trump signed it into law, but the co-author was Harris. So it is such a clear example of both parties supporting something really harmful, in my opinion, to the public. So we're just kind of going back and forth with, what should our strategy be moving forward? Like, can we continue to support the duopoly, or should we, stride a new path per se? But I also, I'm at the point, her name is Savannah Sly. I had her on my podcast. She's one of the current sex workers, and she's also co-founder of a nonprofit. But she's one of the people that thinks like, all right, well, we just got to vote least worst. Let's vote Harris. And she's probably one of the few people I don't get mad at for having that perspective, because she's such a kind, sweet soul and professional about it. But, she just said, like, I don't know how to break the two-party system. What are your thoughts on that? And I said, don't vote for him. Don't. That's step one. If you don't want to, don't. But here's the thing. If you want to vote for them, own it. Don't be like, well, I don't want to, but I have to. No, you don't. If you're like, stand behind your vote, even if I strongly disagree with you, if you're going to support someone, own it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's. It just seems like it's common sense, and people are, I don't know, so programmed to vote either Republican or Democrat. And like I said before, I mean, I've just gotten belligerent about my vote. No one's going to tell me how to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And I just came across this on Twitter, and Jill Stein had a victory party.
No way. Did she get 5%?
I don't know. I'm trying to go back and look at the feed, but it's hanging up on me now.
No, people don't realize if she gets at least 5% nationally, she gets a tremendous amount of federal funding. Not her, but the party, and they're almost guaranteed a spot on a debate stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be huge. That would be huge.
Because my question was, is if, since she didn't make the ballot, is the campaign going to insist on the write-in total from New York?
Well, they weren't clear either. They were not told an answer consistently on how people should write in Jill Stein. Because there were some people that said, do I write just Jill Stein? Do I do Jill Stein / Rudolph Ware? Do I do literally, some people were told you have to write Jill Stein space for president space Rudolph Ware space for vice president. You can't even fit that in the box.
Right.
So
they're playing games, because I called the election board and they said just write Jill Stein.
Right. I was told you have to write in Jill Stein for president, Rudolph Ware for vice president, all of it, or none of it.
Did you call Schenectady County?
Yeah.
Can I mute our phone?
Oh, sons of
Yeah, I know. The same people that said you have until 4 o'clock today, whatever they called me last time, or your vote's not going to be counted, to get down here and redo your vote. Ridiculous.
That's crazy. I don't know. And Fox has got Trump at 212. So who would have one electoral vote?
You mean 2?
Well, the last time I looked, it was 211.
Oh, this is AP.
Okay, so that's 210, 113. All right.
I have a really stupid question. Does Guam have a electoral vote? No, I don't think so, right?
I don't know. Do they?
I don't know.
Let's see.
I have to sign off now because we are about to die on both the phone and the tablet.
Oh.
Okay.
So,
well, I'm so glad that you could join us, Pat.
Oh, me too. How long are you going to be on for tonight in case I recharge?
Well, I said we were going to come off at 11. It's 11 now.
Oh,
I don't know if we want to stay on for a little while longer.
well,
Or is it going? Oh, well, Trump just went up to, well, now Fox is saying 193 to 216.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Comedy Central's got election night in America. I bet you it's going to be Jon Stewart.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
So what are your
Okay,
final
well-
thoughts before you go off, Pat?
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts before you go off?
Final thoughts is this is going to be a very long night. That's my final thoughts because I don't know. But I don't think it's fair for the West Coast to have to watch all this. I think they should come on closer to when the West Coast, you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, well, I
they're
don't
not watching it. Their news doesn't come on until later.
They're watching national news. But I don't like it until the West Coast, when they close their polling places, that's the time. That's what Jon
I just
Stewart
feel what you're
said.
saying. But the fact of the matter is those of us
No, I'm watching.
that live on the East Coast did not force anybody to live on the West Coast.
True. That's true.
We did not invent this globe.
Yeah.
I went to San Francisco for like 4 or 5 days. I came home and I was like, I can't believe people live violently high all the time. I was like just high on secondhand smoke. I was like, what is going on here? It's like such the stereotype of like the Californian that's smoking pot all the time. But I was like, no, it's true. It is absolutely true. Didn't bother me. But
Uh-oh, did I mute him?
Yeah, Guam has no votes in the Electoral College.
oh, DC? Does DC have one?
Oh, they might, yeah. I
How
think
about
they have
Puerto Rico?
three. They have three, and they went to Harris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How many does Puerto Rico have?
Oh,
Puerto
don't-
Rico, do they have any?
I don't think they do.
Oh, they don't.
I don't think so.
No, they're not a state.
But they're a Commonwealth or something, aren't
Territory.
they? Territory. I didn't pass social studies. No, I did.
Showma.
but- I thought they had something. Puerto
Yeah, they're
Rico.
U.S. citizens.
No, I thought they had part of the Electoral College. I thought they had something. No, they wouldn't.
Neither
because-
does DC.
no. It says Wikipedia says Puerto Rico doesn't have electoral votes.
Huh.
We'll take it in the other room then.
Okay. Ken is watching Comedy Central now, so I've got to take this into the other room, or I'm going to sign off. I think I'm going to sign off. So it was nice meeting you, and I can't wait to see how many votes you have for a write-in. You have.
Thank you.
Oh, you're
Thank-
welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Certainly. Good night, Granny.
Good night, Pat.
Do you mind if I show you in costume?
Oh, you can show me in costume, sure.
Okay. So let me find a photo here.
Go in the other room, please.
Here, I'll show one of let me see.
Oh, I look terrible.
Oh no! Don't say that.
Oh, it won't go. That is preview. Let's try it again. No. Preview, share. Pat, it doesn't want to share your picture.
Oh, darn. Well, I can see them next week. Unless, did I see them? You sent them to me and Rebecca?
I did send them to you.
Oh, okay. I've seen them. I thought it was video or something. I love the picture of you and Derek in the mirror.
Oh, yeah, that was a good picture.
It's like, okay, well, good night, everybody. And we will see how we're making history tonight. First female or first felon?
Good stuff, Pat.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
I'm gonna head out of here too. It was nice to meet you, Max.
Yep. I'm gonna head out too.
All
luck.
right.
Nice to meet you. Hopefully we'll talk again.
Yeah, sure. And you have what's your podcast name?
Oh, I'll plug it. Rich, do you mind if I plug it?
Oh, no, please.
The This With Coffee podcast. It is at bio.site /This With Coffee or Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. It's at This With Coffee. And
What platforms?
What?
What platforms are you on?
Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. All of it is at This With Coffee, or is there a chat box on here? No. Or you can just look up me on Twitter. It's MAXMICALLEF.
Okay, I'll get it from Rich.
Yeah, if you could send me that, Max, I'll forward it to Gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Take
I
care.
will see you guys soon. Thanks for having me on, Rich.
Yes, thanks for being on. I really appreciate it.
Later.
Bye.
And Gritty, are you still there? Nope. All right. Well, everybody, we're going to get going. The vote totals are pretty much the same. And once again, I'll just plug that EJ and I have done 5 20-minute episodes of Iron Sharpens Iron, and that we are praying about the election, praying about peace on the street. And so, if you're so inclined to join us each morning, we would love to have you. And many blessings to everybody. And I don't know if anybody's caught on, but somehow I've lost there we go. There it is. There it is right there. I can actually see that everybody is now off. And so the one person that is watching on Rumble, thank you for staying tuned in. And may God bless America. And good night.